All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving deep into a custom car build that, honestly, it just completely flips the script on what a BMW can be. This isn't just about making something look cool, it's about pushing the absolute limits of engineering and personal vision.
I mean, just look at it. You know right away this is not your average Bimmer. But trust me, the story of how this thing came to be and who built it is even crazier than how it looks.
So what exactly elevates a car from just modified to a true masterpiece? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look past the sheet metal and the paint. We need to dig into the builder, that first spark of an idea and all the tiny, obsessive details that brought this whole vision to life.
This car is basically the poster child for what's known as stance culture. And if you're not familiar, it's this whole world where automotive engineering and pure visual art just smash together. The goal? To get that perfect, aggressive posture on the road. It's all about fitment.
Okay, so where does a project this ambitious even start? Well, it starts with one person, a 19-year-old named Dominic Reynolds from North Carolina. And yeah, you heard me right, 19. At an age when most of us were, trying to figure out laundry, he was building this.
You know, a passion like this doesn't just appear out of nowhere. For Dominic, it started way back in 2004. His older brother had the very first right-hand drive Integra on the entire East Coast. Talk about an introduction. You mix that with the golden age of movies like Fast and Furious, and boom, you've got the perfect recipe for a future car builder. And if you want to pinpoint the exact moment it all clicked for him, right here. He says it was the sound of Paul Walker's 350Z in Fast and Furious. That specific whine from the turbo, that was it. That's the sound that got him hooked for life and pretty much set the stage for the monster he'd eventually build.
All right, so you've got the passion, right? That's the easy part. But how do you take that fire and turn it into a concrete plan? How do you go from just a dream in your head to a full-on blueprint?
Dominic kicked things off with an awesome platform, a 2007 BMW 335i. Now, these are already great cars, famous for that N54 engine that just loves to be tuned. But his goal wasn't just to make a faster BMW. No way. His vision was to create something totally unique, something nobody had ever seen before. And the crazy part? The big aha moment didn't even come from a BMW. He saw this wild, wide-body 350Z with a super rare set of wheels. And instead of just saying, wow, cool car, he asked a different question. He thought, wait a minute, why couldn't I put those same wheels on my 335i? And just like that one single question became the entire mission for the build.
Okay, now we get to the really good stuff, the build itself. Let's break down how this vision actually became a reality, piece by painstaking piece, because this is where you see the true obsession and artistry. The first thing that hits you is just the sheer presence of this car. That comes from the super aggressive Pandem Widebody kit, which totally transforms its shape. Then you've got custom carbon fiber bits, and the whole thing is wrapped in this incredible color called Vampire Red. Oh, and that huge wing on the back? That's a legit 326 power wing, imported all the way from Japan. All right, let's talk about the wheels, the things that started this whole crazy journey. They're Wed's Kranzy LXEs, and listen to this. He is the only person in the world running this exact setup on this model of BMW. The specs are just insane. The rears are 14 inches wide with a -38 offset. That is just absurdly, beautifully aggressive.
So how in the world do you get wheels that wide to actually fit under the car? I mean, you can't just bolt them on and call it a day. It takes a complete suspension overhaul. We're talking an airlift performance system so he can adjust the height on the fly, and these wild SPL titanium race control arms to dial in the alignment with like sub-millimeter precision. It's serious stuff.
Of course, you can't forget what's under the hood. That legendary N54 twin-turbo engine is definitely not stock. It's got an MHD Stage 2 tune, a bigger intercooler, new intakes, the whole deal. But look closer. You see the custom powder coating, the gold hardware? The engine bay is just as much a showpiece as the outside of the car. And when you open the door, it's just as wild. The interior is a complete one-off custom job. It's this perfect mix of race car-inspired parts, like the Studio RSR half cage and those Takata harnesses, with these incredible luxury touches.
I mean, a custom suede headliner with 300 little fiber optic stars in it? Come on. Every single surface in here has been completely reimagined.
So, okay, we've gone through the whole car. When you take a step back and just look at the finished product, all this insane work, what does it all really mean? What's the big takeaway here?
This right here is probably the most mind-blowing part of the whole story. Dominic did all of this when he was just 19 years old. 19! It's just an incredible example of what's possible at any age when you have that much drive and a crystal clear vision.
And his advice to anyone else wanting to do something similar? It's rooted in all that hard work. He's super clear that getting this look, especially with a Pandem kit, is not some easy weekend job. It is a massive engineering puzzle that takes a ton of planning, a bunch of custom parts, and a really deep understanding of how suspension works.
But you know, at the end of the day, for Dominic and so many people in the car scene, it's about something more than just the car itself. It's about community. It's about finding your people. Through groups like @BattleGang, he's found a whole crew that shares his obsession, forging these friendships that, in his words, have become family. This entire build is just the perfect reminder that with a ton of passion and a clear vision, you can take something ordinary and turn it into rolling art, something truly extraordinary. It kind of makes you think, right? What's the ordinary thing in your life that you could turn into your own masterpiece?